Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, and now please join me in welcoming to the floor EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen.
Prime Minister Tusk, dear Donald, Prime Minister Sviridенko, dear Julia, President Costa di Antonio, fellow leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank you, dear Donald, for hosting us in this wonderful city of Gdańsk, which is indeed your city, the city of freedom, and yes, the city of solidarity. Since the very start of Russia's war of aggression, Gdańsk has always lived up to its reputation. The entire city has mobilized in defense of freedom and in support for Ukraine. 5,000 families hosted Ukrainians in their homes. Schools started teaching in Ukrainian. And the local government has provided constant support to people on the front line. The people of Gdańsk are showing that solidarity is not only part of your history, it is part of your character. So on behalf of Europe, to the people of Gdańsk, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your generosity. Four decades ago, the people of Gdańsk helped change the course of European history. They showed that freedom could prevail over oppression. And they helped open the path to Poland's European future. Today, the people of Ukraine are doing the same. The courage of Ukraine's armed forces has shifted the momentum on the battlefield. Ukraine's defense industry, with Europe's support, is showing that it can out-innovate Russia's. Ukraine now produces drones at a scale that matches and even exceeds Russian production capacity. And the determination of the Ukrainian people has shown to the world that their European choice cannot be broken. And now it is our task to turn that choice into a reality. Earlier this month, indeed, we opened the first cluster of negotiations with Ukraine, and this was a historic moment. A recognition of the remarkable progress Ukraine has made already, and a strong signal that Ukraine's future belongs in our European family. And yes, enlargement is more than a process. It is an anchor for Ukraine's future. The first cluster focuses on the fundamentals of our union: the rule of law, strong democratic institutions, effective public administration, the foundations on which lasting prosperity is built. It provides a clear roadmap for the reforms ahead, and it gives confidence to citizens, to businesses, but also to investors. And as always, accession will remain merit-based, without any question. But if Ukraine continues to reform with the determination it has shown in the recent years, its place in the European family is becoming a reality. And Ukraine's European future is already taking shape today. Ukraine joined our Rome Like at Home scheme earlier this year. Ukraine is moving forward on SEPA, the single euro payment area, very important for businesses. and it is taking steps towards integration in the single market. That brings real benefits to Ukrainians today. And of course, it sends a powerful message to investors. If you invest in Ukraine, you invest in Europe, not only in an economy of around 200 billion euro, but in a future member of a single market worth 20 trillion euros, a market 100 times larger, and a market built on the rule of law, legal certainty, and the protection of property rights. And this is why Ukraine's European path is such a powerful proposition. And this is why now is the time to invest in Ukraine. And that leads me to my next point. The prosperous Ukraine of tomorrow requires massive investments today. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion, the European Union and its member states have provided 200 billion euros in economic, financial and military support. And with the Ukraine support loan, we will provide a further 90 billion euros over the next 2 years. And indeed, today we are transferring the first tranche under this loan, dear Julia, more than 3.2 billion euros in macro-financial assistance. So you're right, I'm happy and proud to announce this disbursement today. And we will start paying the first money of the 6 billion euro for drone production in the coming days. This indeed is solidarity in action. It shows Europe's support for Ukraine is here to stay. And at the same time, we continue to call on all our partners to maintain their support. Because a strong and independent Ukraine is in all our interests. Our ambition is not only to help Ukraine endure, it is to help Ukraine grow and prosper as a free and European country. And that is why the European Union has become the largest provider of investment and risk-sharing support in Ukraine. We're helping cities and towns to rebuild. We're supporting the resilience of the energy sector. We are providing financing to businesses, including in the frontline regions. Now we are taking the next step. At last year's Recovery Conference in Rome, we announced the creation of a European Flagship Fund, the largest equity fund dedicated to the reconstruction of Ukraine. Today I can say that fund is ready to go. It will invest in some of the most strategic sectors of Ukraine's future, from clean energy to infrastructure, to the high-growth companies that will drive Ukraine's economy in the decades ahead. The fund is backed by the European Union, Poland, France, Germany, and Italy. It can mobilize up to €500 million still this year, with the aim of reaching €1 billion over time. So public capital will take the first share of the risk. And this creates the confidence needed to attract private investment of scale. And the message is simple that we are sending to investors. When you invest in Ukraine, you're not only investing in Ukraine's future, but you are investing in Europe's future. Ladies and gentlemen, Ukraine's recovery and growth are not only in Ukraine's interest. They are in Europe's interest too. This war has shown how fundamental Ukraine's security is to Europe, not only as a recipient, but as a security provider. Ukraine's battlefield experience is unmatched. Its defense companies are some of the most innovative in the world. They are developing and producing cutting-edge capabilities, from interceptor drones to jamming systems. These technologies protect Ukrainian lives every day, and they are increasingly important for Europe's own security and resilience. And that is why deeper integration of our defense industry is so important. We are already seeing what this partnership can achieve. Ukrainian-designed drones being produced in Germany. Fuel for Ukraine's Flamingo missiles will soon be made in Denmark. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, we need Ukrainian ingenuity and innovation and Europe's scale and industrial know-how. That is the mixture that we need to prosper. So, ladies and gentlemen, 1 year ago, when we gathered for the last recovery conference, the situation in Ukraine was dark. Today, the outlook is different. Ukraine has made progress on the battlefield. We have strengthened Ukraine's economic foundations. We have advanced its European path. And we have created new opportunities for investment and growth. Ukraine's courage has made this possible. And our solidarity has helped make it a reality. The lesson of Gdańsk remains as relevant today as it was 4 decades ago. Solidarity is the road to freedom. And in that spirit, thank you, Gdańsk and Poland, for your solidarity. Thank you, Europe, for your solidarity. And thank you, Ukraine, for your courage. Slava Ukraini. Long live Europe.
Dziękujemy. Prosimy teraz.
Thank you very much indeed. And the floor goes to European Council President Antonio.